you're out in the garden feeling productive. You've just finished pruning your beautiful tomato plants, and now you're holding a big handful of leafy green stems. Your first instinct is to toss them in the compost bin, right? Stop. What if I told you that you're holding garden gold in your hands? That this trash is actually the secret key to an endless, and I mean endless, supply of free tomato plants. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn those discarded tomato suckers into a whole new generation of fruit-bearing plants. By the time we're done, you will never look at your garden clippings the same way again. It's one of the most satisfying and cost-effective hacks in all of gardening. What do you normally do with your suckers? Be honest and drop a comment down below. So, before we turn your garden waste into a tomato empire, let's quickly define what we're actually talking about. What is a tomato sucker? It's that small new shoot that grows in the junction, or the armpit, between the main stem and a side branch of your tomato plant. They're called suckers because they can, if left unchecked, suck energy away from the main plant that could be going towards producing bigger, juicier tomatoes. This is why pruning is so important. It improves air circulation, which helps prevent disease, and it tells the plant to focus its energy on fruit. Now, this technique is especially amazing for indeterminate tomato varieties. Those are the vining types that just keep growing and producing fruit all season long until the first frost. Determinate, or bush types, grow to a certain size, produce all their fruit at once, and then they're done. While you can still clone a determinate sucker, you'll get the most bang for your buck by creating a continuous harvest from your indeterminate vines. The first concept to grasp is the pure magic of what you're doing. This isn't like planting a seed. When you propagate a sucker, you are creating an exact genetic clone of the parent plant. Think about that for a second. If you absolutely love the flavor, size, and disease resistance of your favorite Brandywine or Sun Gold tomato, cloning a sucker guarantees you will get another plant with those exact same traits. There is no genetic lottery like you'd have with a seed that might have been cross-pollinated. You are essentially taking a cutting and telling it to become a brand new, independent plant. The cells within that little green stem have all the instructions they need to sprout new roots and grow into a full-sized, fruit-producing powerhouse. It feels like a science fiction movie, but it's just one of nature's coolest tricks. This is why it's so powerful. You're not just getting more plants, you're getting more of your best plants for free. So let's start with the easiest, most foolproof method out there. We'll call this the water jar technique. It's so simple. It almost feels like cheating. First, you'll want to select a healthy-looking sucker that's about 4 to 6 inches long. Gently pinch it or snip it off the main plant. Next, and this is an important step, remove any lower leaves on the stem. You only want a small tuft of leaves at the very top. Any leaves left submerged in water will just rot and foul it up. Now, take that prepared sucker and place it in a small jar, glass, or vase filled with plain tap water. You want the bottom couple of inches of the stem to be submerged. Place the jar in a spot that gets bright, indirect light, like a kitchen windowsill that doesn't get baked by the afternoon sun. That's it. Your work is done for now. All you have to do is change the water every couple of days to keep it fresh and oxygenated, and just wait for the magic to happen. It's incredibly satisfying to watch. Now, to perfect the water method, let's talk about a few pro tips and debunk a common myth. While the process is simple, a few small adjustments can guarantee success. First, as I mentioned, keeping the water clean is crucial. Stagnant, cloudy water can promote bacterial growth that will rot your stem before it can grow roots. So, changing it every 2 days is a great habit. Second, patience is key. You should start to see little white bumps, which are the beginnings of roots, forming on the stem within a week. In about 10 to 14 days, you should have a nice little network of roots ready for planting. The big myth to debunk here is the need for rooting hormone. While rooting hormone powder can sometimes speed things up, tomatoes are so vigorous and eager to root that it is completely unnecessary for this method. They have all the natural hormones they need to get the job done on their own. Save your money. This is all about leveraging the plant's natural ability to survive and thrive, creating a new plant with nothing more than a stem and a glass of water. Feeling a bit more confident? Let's try method number 2, rooting directly in soil. This method skips the water jar and can sometimes result in a stronger, more robust plant because it never has to transition from water roots to soil roots. You'll start the same way. Select a healthy 4 to 6 inch sucker and remove the lower leaves. Now, grab a small pot filled with a damp, high-quality potting mix. You want the soil to be moist like a wrung-out sponge, not soaking wet. Use a pencil or your finger to poke a hole in the center of the soil, about 2 inches deep. Gently place your sucker cutting into the hole and firm the soil around it to hold it in place. The key to this method is humidity. To create a mini greenhouse effect, you can place a clear plastic bag over the pot or cover it with the top half of a clear plastic bottle. Place it in a shady, protected spot outdoors or in a spot with indirect light indoors. This little dome will trap moisture and keep the cutting from drying out while it works on growing roots. It's a fantastic and reliable alternative. So why go through all this trouble? The biggest benefit is something gardeners call succession planting. Your main tomato plants that you put in the ground in spring will have their peak production in midsummer, but as late summer and early fall approach, they can start to get tired, become more prone to disease, and their production will naturally slow down. This is where your clones become superstars. By taking cuttings in early to midsummer, you can have a fresh batch of young, vigorous tomato plants ready to take over just as your main crop is starting to fade. This allows you to extend your harvest by weeks or even months, depending on your climate. Imagine still picking fresh, delicious tomatoes in September or October when everyone else's plants are long gone. It's like having a secret second wave of tomatoes, ensuring your kitchen is stocked for much longer, all from plants that you created for free. This is the strategy that takes you from being a good gardener to a great one. Now let's be clear, not every sucker is a prime candidate for cloning. Your success rate will be much higher if you're a little bit picky. You want to choose a sucker that is the picture of health. Look for one with a thick, sturdy stem and vibrant green leaves. Ideally, it should be between 4 and 6 inches in length. Anything smaller might not have enough stored energy to produce roots, and anything much larger can be difficult to support and may wilt more easily. Avoid any suckers that look thin, weak, or yellowish. And definitely pass on any that show signs of disease, like spots or blight. You also want to avoid suckers that have already started to develop flower buds. If you see tiny yellow flowers, the cutting will try to put its energy into producing fruit instead of roots, which is not what we want. Remember the golden rule: quality in, quality out. A strong, healthy sucker will grow into a strong, healthy plant. Beyond just getting more tomatoes, think of this technique as your ultimate gardening insurance policy. We've all been there. You spend months nurturing a plant, and then disaster strikes. A freak hailstorm shreds the leaves, a hungry deer decides your garden is a buffet, or a disease like blight takes hold overnight. It can be absolutely heartbreaking to lose a prized plant. But if you've been regularly propagating your suckers, that disaster is merely a minor setback. Instead of having to run to the nursery and pay for an expensive, mature replacement plant, you can just walk over to your collection of clones. You have a free, genetically identical backup ready to be planted in its place. This takes so much stress out of gardening. It allows you to be prepared for the unexpected and ensures that no matter what happens, your dream of a bountiful harvest stays alive. It's a simple, proactive step that can save your entire tomato season. Finally, just when you thought these suckers couldn't get any more useful, here's a little-known bonus trick. If you have too many suckers and have already cloned all the plants you need, you can still use the leaves. Tomato leaves contain compounds called alkaloids that are toxic to many small garden pests, especially aphids. You can create a simple, natural pest repellent spray. Just take a handful of the leaves and stems from your suckers, roughly chop them up, and let them steep in a quart of water overnight. The next day, strain out the plant material, add a tiny drop of dish soap to help the mixture stick to leaves, and pour it into a spray bottle. Lightly mist the tops and bottoms of leaves on aphid-prone plants like roses. Now, a word of caution: because tomatoes are in the nightshade family, you should avoid using this spray on other nightshade plants like your peppers, eggplants, or potatoes. But for many other ornamentals and veggies, it's a great free way to help keep pests at bay. It proves that truly nothing in the garden needs to go to waste. So, let's recap. We've taken something that most gardeners toss in the compost without a second thought and unlocked its incredible potential. We've seen how the humble tomato sucker can be used to create an endless supply of free, perfect clones of your favorite plants, extending your harvest for weeks with succession planting. We've learned how these clones can act as a free insurance policy, protecting your garden from unexpected disasters. And as a final bonus, we even found a way to use the leftover leaves to create a natural pest spray. The simple act of saving a sucker is a powerful move that saves you money, reduces waste, and makes you a smarter, more resilient gardener. Thank you so much for watching and sharing your time with me today. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more gardening secrets. Now, for my question to you. After seeing how easy this is, are you going to try cloning your tomato suckers this year? Let me know which method, water or soil, you're most excited to try in the comments below. Happy gardening!